his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky. He's done it. Clayton Kershaw pitches a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. Tony sends one in the air. The other way. Back it goes. One of a kind player. One of a kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Gibby, meet Freddie. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
The Dodgers have signed Tommy Edman to a contract extension. We have the contract details and what this means for Teoscar Hernandez, Kike Hernandez, and the rest of the Dodgers offseason moves. That's coming up next on an emergency episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade. We got it, Parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie Magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Now, if you haven't yet, do me a huge favor and subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit that like button. Also, if you're writing a review on podcast, we'll reread it on this show live. And also, hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers that continue to make moves to run it back, to go after back-to-back World Series titles. And the breaking news this afternoon is that the Dodgers have got an extension done with Tommy Edman. Jeff Passan tweeted, breaking, super utility man Tommy Edman and the Los Angeles Dodgers are in agreement on a 5-year, $74 million contract extension. Sources tell ESPN the deal runs through 2025 to 29 and includes a 6th-year club option. There's $17 million signing bonus and deferred money included. So you got Tommy Edman locked up in Dodger blue. You have the Dodgers continuing to make big moves like signing Blake Snell, who in my opinion is the best free agent available on the mound this offseason. Corbin Burns, Max Fried, they're really good, but I think Snell in his best day is better. And then Tommy Edman, he solidifies your super utility role that the Dodgers covet, that they feel like they need, that's been one of the difference makers. Look, I was at the mall a couple days ago, walked by a Build-A-Bear. Tommy Edman is a Build-A-Dodger player for Andrew Friedman. If you had a Build-A-Dodger, Tommy Edman would be that guy for Andrew Friedman and this front office. A guy that can play above average defense at multiple positions, not just the outfield, but the infield as well. As a Gold Glover at second base, can play the most difficult position in the infield outside of catcher in the shortstop spot. He did that at a high level when Miguel Rojas went down with an injury in the NLDS, and then he plays above average center field. He was a +1 outs above average. Now, what does this mean for the rest of the offseason moves? Well, for me, it means that when you have a guy locked up in center field that plays above average defense, that you can count on at that position, that means you can get away with a little lesser defense in the corner outfield spots. And if you look at Tommy Edman's career, he has been a really good defender, and he's only played center field for a couple of seasons. 2023 was the first time he really took over center field for St. Louis, and he was a +5 outs above average. With the Dodgers, in 188 innings, he was a +1 outs above average. I think he's only going to get better at that position. So if I'm at the Dodgers right now, I'm saying to myself, hey, I feel better about signing Teoscar Hernandez to a multi-year deal, knowing we have our center fielder locked up if that's where he's going to play the majority of his innings. And if you look at where the infield's at, you got some optionality there. Gavin Lux still on the roster. Do you keep him? Mookie Betts is already permanently moving to the infield. Dodgers general manager Brandon Gomes has already made that clear. You picked up Miguel Rojas's club option, so you do have some options there, and you could potentially go out there and sign Willy Adames. You could potentially trade for a Bo Bichette if you want to go that route, but at the base level, you have someone that can also play shortstop in a pinch, and he really gave this Dodgers team some stability in the NLDS, in the ALCS, and in the World Series at that position. And I think what really sealed the deal for this extension, we're getting into the contract details in a second here, what really sealed the deal on this extension was how well he performed in the postseason, because his numbers in the regular season, they were definitely impressive. I mean, he had a couple of games where he had back-to-back 2 home run games, but all in all, got off to a little bit of a slow start, and that makes sense because he was coming off wrist surgery, and really, when he made his debut with the Dodgers in August, it was really his spring training. He didn't appear for the first time in Dodger Blue until August 19th, but he did make a big-time impression on this team with his versatility, the pop he had, and his overall numbers. He had 237, had a 294 on base, 417 slug, had a 98 weighted runs created plus. So technically he was 2% below league average offensively in the regular season, but you have to take that with a grain of salt. Over the course of a whole season, there's no doubt about it in my mind that Tommy Edman is an above average bat. When you couple that with above average defense at multiple positions, you get an above average player that's going to provide you a ton of value. But I think what really sealed the deal for Tommy Edman this extension was, yes, it was just 53 games. He's only played 53 games with the Dodgers if you combine the regular seasons and the postseason. But the postseason, he stepped up in a big way. Overall, in 3 series, the NLDS, the NLCS, and the World Series, he slashed .328, had a .354 on base, and slugged .508. He won the NLCS MVP. Who had Tommy Edman winning the NLCS MVP on their Dodgers bingo card? They need him to step up, and he certainly did that in a massive way. He even batted cleanup for the first time in his big league career in games 4 and 6 of the NLCS when the Dodgers were facing lefties. He had 7 RBIs in that series and in that run right there. In the regular season, I mean, against righties and against lefties, you saw someone that is a switch hitter. They can hit both sides of the plate, and his OPS against righties is higher. I mean, in the regular season, he had .412 against righties. He had .181 against lefties. But still, he provides that versatility, stepped up big in the postseason, and he gives you that versatility. So I love this deal for the Dodgers. We talked about it last week when it started to leak that they were in some preliminary talks on a contract extension that you would be in the $70+ million range. When you look at what Chris Taylor got a couple of seasons ago, 4 years and $60 million, and essentially, with Chris Taylor having one more season with this team, Chris Taylor was never going to factor in a big way for the 2025 Dodgers. At the very best, Chris Taylor is coming off the bench, providing versatility, but he's not going to be someone that's competing for a starting job in left field or right field or center field, and it'll be most likely his last season in Dodger Blue. Now, I don't think that this precludes them from bringing back Kike Hernandez, because I don't even put Kike and Chris Taylor in the same category at this stage of their careers because, yes, they're both versatile players, can play infield and outfield, and at his best, Chris Taylor had a better full-length regular season than Kike Hernandez ever has, but what Kike brings them is a guy that steps up in the postseason, gets you clutch base hits, can get you big home runs in big spots, can play clutch defense, run the bases well. And I still think they want Kike back in the fold. So I don't think this precludes them from having Kike come back as a bench bat and provide you versatility. And then all of a sudden, when the postseason rolls around, he's a emotional leader, an all-star caliber player in the postseason, certainly a postseason all-star. But if you look at the details of this contract, so the details of this contract, very interesting. So it's a 5-year, $74 million extension, goes from 2025 to 2009, and it contains a club option for the 2030 season. And the club option is worth $13 million, comes with a $3 million buyout. Also, it includes a $17 million signing bonus with almost a third of the money in the deal deferred. So this is textbook. This is Dodgers 101. This is what they do. And I'm getting sick and tired of hearing fans from opposing teams out there criticize the Dodgers, saying they broke baseball, saying that it was unfair because the rules have changed. The goalpost has been moved. Last offseason was, it doesn't matter how much money the Dodgers spend. They could spend $1.4 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion. They're still going to choke in the postseason. Oh, then they go on to win a full 162-game regular season plus postseason World Series. And now it's, we need to rip up the CBA. The Dodgers have a cheat code. The Dodgers are breaking the rules. No, the truth of the matter is the Dodgers are playing and competing and consummating deals within the rules that Major League Baseball has set for them. They're handing out huge signing bonuses, but that's not cutting down the totality in the AAV and how that's calculated. It has no bearing on what they're paid out as far as how much they're penalized in the CBT. So, one, people don't understand how deferrals work in 2025, and I don't understand why they're upset about this. This outrage didn't exist when Max Scherzer took a lot of deferrals. It didn't exist when Rafi Devers took a bunch of deferrals. How about the Mets? Mets fans, who are the richest team in baseball, if you include one owner in Stephen Cohen, they have the most famous deferral contract in the history of baseball. What do we celebrate every July 1st? It's Bobby Bonilla Day. So deferrals aren't brand new. The Dodgers are just playing the game better than anyone. But there's something that fans and critics of the Los Angeles Dodgers are failing to admit, failing to accept, failing to realize when it comes to all these deferrals. And that is that at the end of the day, the Dodgers have created an organization, a foundation, a team in a market, in a city with the right people involved, managers, coaches, front office people that players around Major League Baseball want to play for. That's what people are forgetting. All this deferral stuff, it's only a part of the conversation once that player decides they want to play for this team long term. Tommy Edman, he was traded here. He played in the regular season, the postseason. He lived in Los Angeles. He traveled with this team. He was a part of this clubhouse. And he said, hell yeah, let's get an extension done. Mookie Betts was traded here. Got his first taste without even playing in a regular season game and said, you know what? I like it here. I'm extended. Let's do it. Let's get this deal done. So give all the credit in the world to the organization, right? Because guess what? Your cheap owner can do the same thing. And I'm sure that from a dollars and cents standpoint, they could get close on some of these players. What they don't have is Dodger Stadium with 50,000+ fans a night. What they don't have is Los Angeles. Great weather, great city, West Coast. What they don't have is a tradition-laden organization with the wedding gown, white uniforms and those perfect Dodger blue hats with the perfect Dodger script across the chest and the history and tradition. So the deals that the Dodgers are getting done, a lot of credit goes around. Walter O'Malley for moving this team from Brooklyn to LA, and the fans and all the iconic players that have made this organization what it is. So I'm sick and tired of hearing about this. And hey, we'll see what happens during the next negotiations if anything changes with this. But I think this is beautiful. If players want to sign those deals, they're doing it for a reason. You're going to get your net present money. You're going to get your money down the line. But still, it's about winning championships, and that's what the Dodgers are committed to doing, and that's what the players that are signing up to play here want to do too. Edman knows this is a great organization for him to have a lot of success. So, hey, the other thing too is Dodgers fans, when you see these logos out there, Los Angeles deferrals, don't take it as an insult. I take that as a compliment. Thank you for telling me the organization that I support is playing the game better than your owner, than your GM. Thank you for telling me that I understand finances and accounting and how to put together the best roster possible while taking advantage with the rules that everyone agreed to, that your owner agreed to, that the CBA was built on. So every owner can do the same thing. Some are cheap. Some don't want to win. Some don't have a franchise that players want to play for. Cry more. Punch air. Argue with the wall. This Dodgers team is rolling. But hey, we'll see what happens in the future. But right now, the Dodgers are doing it at an elite level. But welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live, a live edition on Black Friday here. I wonder if the Dodgers got a little Black Friday discount. Maybe 180. Say, hey, Black Friday, give you a $74 million extension. But let me know down below in the comments section. We got the $10 super chat. Absolutely happy with this extension. Next up, the Hernandezes, Sasaki, and Adames. I like that. Ryan Montes. Friedman playing chess. What up, David E? Sign Teo. So happy. Love Tommy Tanks. Feels like we're going for Soto. I don't think so. I mean, I think that they have a offer in place for Soto. I think that if Soto wants to be a Dodger, the Dodgers have an amount that they're willing to pay him. In fact, I know that. But I don't think it's the Dodgers exceeding an offer that the Mets are going to give him, exceeding an offer potentially that the Yankees, the Red Sox are going to give him. But hey, give me Teo back, baby. Bob Nightingale, MLB Insider, was on this show. We talked a little bit afterward. He's pretty confident that Teoscar Hernandez is going to be back with the Dodgers. We got Kyle Reed. MLB fan bases are so triggered by the word deferred. And no, it's this ugly word. We got Claudia Levin. What's up, D-Mac? What's up, Dodgers Nation? What's up, Dodgers Nation? Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Teo just signed with the... Okay, we got a troll right here, so that's what's up. We got good moving... We got Tommy Hitman Edman, fan for life. The Dodgers are literally putting up every chip they got in. They're betting heavy and getting the ultimate return. Certainly they are. We have Teo signed. Okay, wait, where are we seriously? You guys are really killing me with this one. But let's make sure we have. That would be a major. Let's see here. Yeah, nice try, guys. Nice try on the trolls down below. Hey, you know what? You guys getting blocked. Sorry, guys. I had to block you guys. $7. We got to Hey D-Mac. First time to chat. Love the show. Do you think Tommy more likely to stick long-term at shortstop or center field? Also, to Jock. So I think for this current iteration of the Dodgers, I think that you really don't have that. You really don't have that center fielder in place. You don't have that center fielder in place that you need that can play that position, a valuable position at above average level. What's up, Rosemary Rodriguez? But I do think that the Dodgers are going to have that versatility in their back pocket. And from what I heard, they're not the front runners for Willy Adames, but they're definitely interested in him. But if you don't get a Willy Adames and you kind of go with what you have, you really are in a position where Tommy Edman can play that position. We've seen that, but I don't think you want to play him at shortstop for a full season. So I think center field right now is his best fit for the 2025 Dodgers. And throughout the course of this contract, you're going to see him move around a little bit. You're going to see him in the infield when guys need a day, when guys get injured. You're going to see him in center field primarily because that's his best role for this team. So center field is a very valuable position. I mean, you definitely want an elite center fielder, especially when you're pursuing corner outfielders that don't hang their hat on their defense. And typically, corner outfield is a spot where you can get slug, and that doesn't always come with average to above average defense. So I think that this gives the Dodgers more flexibility and freedom to consider offense first options at those corner infield spots. We've got CT Smith over on Facebook. You plays Tommy in any outfield position. I smell a trade cooking in the next week. Clear some salary, and they will add Sasaki next. 1, obtain 2 Betts, 3 Friedman, 4 Muncy, 5 Edman, 7 Lux, 8, 9. Outfield is a mystery until mid-December. I think that you'll probably see the outfield get shuffled before the winter meetings. Kerry Jackson, $5 super chat. Does the extension to Tommy mean Taylor and possible Lux could be traded? I mean, even before or after that extension, because the truth is, if you look at Tommy Edman's contract, he was due to make $9.5 million this season, which was his last season under club control, and now you get a raise because of his extension, and now it's essentially $64.5 million over the next 4 seasons in new money. So the club option still gives the Dodgers that extra year of team control, but where it stands right now is I don't think that really changes anything. I think to trade Chris Taylor, the Dodgers would have to absorb a lot of that money. There's no team that's going to take on Chris Taylor in the $16 million that the Dodgers still owe him. It would have to be a part of a deal where the Dodgers take back some bad contracts. They wanted to go that route. As far as Gavin Lux, the big factor there is how much do teams value Gavin Lux after a really good second half, had a couple big moments in the postseason, but really hasn't proven after the injury that he's a wire-to-wire average to above average big leaguer, and he has 2 more years of team control. So you kind of would be selling low if you're the Dodgers on Gavin Lux. And if you're a team out there that really thinks highly of him and wants to knock the Dodgers' socks off with a move and kind of thinks that he fills a role for them that he can't fill with the Dodgers, then that's going to be a decision they're going to have to make. I mean, we'll see what happens for Mookie Betts. I mean, like I said, we need to find out the Dodgers' plan for him in the infield, because if he's going to be a second baseman, then that's basically where you have to say that Gavin Lux is shortstop or bust, because it's unlikely they're going to try and back out in the outfield. That experiment didn't really work. And 2, as far as his offensive production profile, he did hit 10 home runs last season, and the slug in the second half was certainly much improved, but they don't envision him as a corner outfielder. So, I mean, a move to third base eventually could be pretty interesting, but really, if Moogie's going to be at second baseman, it's shortstop or bust for Gavin Lux. So either A, they think he can make the throws now. I was talking to someone on the Dodgers, a member of the team, a couple days ago. One thing we were talking about was that they all internally thought that, I mean, right off the bat, coming off that surgery, coming off the major injury, that, yeah, it was a lot for Gavin Lux to set his feet and mechanically go and make those throws. But later in the season, when things started to click, when he was more confident in his body, they have no doubts that he can go and make those throws. They truly do believe that. It's just a matter of, do the Dodgers, with this championship window and this roster that they have assembled, do they want another experiment with Gavin Lux at shortstop? Do they want to go through that again? So he certainly could be traded. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's certainly very possible. And the Dodgers are going to try to improve along the margins and to try to still swing on some bigger free agents as well. But to me, the Rojas thing is just a depth piece. Chris Taylor, you got to take on money, so wouldn't see that too much there. We got D-Mac, they not like us. I like that. Comment of the show from History's Time Tunnel. They certainly are not like the Dodgers, because Dodgers are the reigning World Series champions. How's everyone's Thanksgiving, man? What'd you guys eat? What was your favorite thing that you ate at Thanksgiving? We got Rosemary. What they don't have is Andrew Friedman and the Guggenheim Group. Yeah, 100. Big facts from Rosemary over there. It's a combination of owners willing to spend, owners making money and reinvesting that money, and then a future Hall of Fame executive and Andrew Friedman that executives will be studying until the end of baseball. We got deferment is up to the players. It benefits the ownership. That's from Bob. Michael McCaffrey. D-Mac, I heard a Ross. Let's go. We got to Andrea. Release Ryan Brazier for another pitcher in 2025 to repeat again in World Series title champions again in another last parade for 2025. I don't think you're going to release Ryan Brazier. You could trade him if you wanted to and acquire some prospects you don't have to have on the 40-man roster, kind of like what they did with the we got Jose. What up, D-Mac? Watch from Seoul today. I love Seoul, South Korea. Was there for a couple of weeks this year. It was a great experience. It's a great city. The food's awesome. The people are nice. It's a great place to be. Super clean city. We got Dodgers should sign Tanner Scott. Eddie, we'll see. The Dodgers don't typically like to invest heavily on bullpen pieces. That's not really what they do. You gave Joe Kelly $25 million back in 2019. You brought back Blake Trinan. We'll see, though. We'll see if you go out there. I mean, they traded for Kimbrel, A.J. Pollock. I mean, they kind of realize that the bullpen is a volatile position. So, Takio-ish, D-Mac. What up, Gary, over on YouTube? What's up, Rosemary? This front office is hungry. Sign Trinan too? Absolutely. No doubt about it. NY wants to secede from the U.S. What's up, Pika Peep? Johnny Owen. A lot of East Coast bias. That's the truth. Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, now it is, it's the Dodgers are doing what the Yankees used to do, but now they're doing it at such a high level. A.M. Sanchez, our Dodger dogs need some hashtag mustard. I see what you did right there. I love that. Sam Kim, OMG, reading comprehension is lacking. No wonder so many Dodger fans are hated. We'll root for the Dodgers in our own way. Let's keep it moving. You are right. We need to keep Buehler around. I mean, I think that the Buehler thing is interesting to me, for sure. The Buehler thing is interesting to me just because you did bring in Snell. You're in the mix for Roki Sasaki, and it'd be tough to see him go elsewhere. But the Snell return, I mean, remember, Kirsch is essentially on this roster, whether he re-signs and gets transferred to the 60-day IL, or at some point he's going to be pitching for the Dodgers next season. So you have to account for him. Gonsolin May returning. Bobby Miller still on the roster, Landon Knack, Ben Kasperius, Justin Robleski. They have young arms too. Shohei Ohtani returning. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good problem to have. I still think that you can find some way to make it work with Buehler, though, and the value that he gives you is big time. Don Kim, what's up, Don Kim? Trying is a must-to, Blue 21. Just an option. Ohtani, Shohei just signed with the LA Blues. Can we sign Adames now, Justin Lamas? I would love to see Willie Adames in Dodger Blue. No doubt about it. We got Trinan is Mando for IB Stroking. Yeah, I mean, I think the beautiful thing about Blake Trinan is you're not going to have to break the bank on him because of his age, and he's someone that is just so important for this team. And look, he turns 37 midway through next season, and Dave Roberts said in the podcast of Mookie Betts, he was pretty much indicating that he wanted to see him back. So that kind of lets you know it's a pretty big tell right there. They're going to try to work something out with Blake Trinan, and I think with him, it's kind of the perfect balance of there's the veteran leadership there. There's the last two World Series the Dodgers have won. Remember Blake Trinan, after Kenley Jansen crapped the bed in Game 4, it was Blake Trinan in Game 5 that ends up getting the final outs. And then Julio, he shuts it down in Game 6. And then this past postseason, Blake Trinan was huge throughout. So I still think you could squeeze a couple of really good years out of Blake Trinan at not a break-the-bank cost. We don't have to pay a massive premium because of his age. Buehler is gone. Buehler is not a priority to the Dodgers. I wouldn't say he's not a priority. It's that the truth is, I mean, he was a negative WAR regular season pitcher, had a really elite run in the postseason, and they're not going to offer him a big multi-year deal, so that's out of the question. And is there a big enough multi-year deal out there for Walker Buehler? Maybe with some player options in it, but still, teams aren't going to give you $100 million when they were set to give you $15 million at most as a prove-it deal after the regular season he had because of a couple really good starts in the postseason. That's just not how the game works in 2025. So I still think that he'll ultimately sign a short-term deal for the team that he thinks is going to put him in the best position to get a big payday. The one thing is if he signs with the Dodgers, and he has a really good year, do they offer him the qualifying offer? Do they not offer him the qualifying offer to, give him an advantage? Because if he signs with a team that doesn't make the postseason or he gets traded at the deadline, like Jack Flaherty did, teams can't offer him the qualifying offer, so that kind of helps him long term. But like I said, with Walker Buehler, I really hope he's back, but we'll see what it has in store for him because he's got to make the best decision from a financial standpoint. He needs that big bag. That's how he's thinking. And if he thinks the Dodgers can put him in the best position to have a really, really solid regular season, and he competes and he performs well in the postseason once again, he'll get a nice payday just like Jack Flaherty's about to get. But if there's any doubt about my spot in the rotation type stuff, especially if the Dodgers are planning for Roki Sasaki to be a part of this rotation, then if I'm Walker Buehler, I'm wondering where's my spot in the pecking order, and that would be my number one concern at this point. I'll get rid of CT3. Can we trade for Greg Bergman? What? Taylor and Lux, no bueno. Nando, 390. Tommy Edman going to turn into CT3 come 4 or 5? I don't think so. I disagree respectfully, Nando, because Edman has a shorter, more compact swing than Chris Taylor, less boom or bust, and his defense is better than Chris Taylor's as well, too. So Chris Taylor has done a lot of really good things to this organization, and he's had some pop. There's no doubt about it. Chris Taylor's had some pop for this team, but I think that Edman's bat is going to age better than Chris Taylor's bat. But, it's a worthwhile thing to point out just because the Dodgers did give Chris Taylor a pretty comparable deal. Dollars and cents, Edman's extension is larger, but as far as length, you're looking at a guy late 20s, 4 years, 5 years. So they're in the same ballpark, and the positional versatility is a similarity as well. But I don't know. And it's Chris Taylor when he was at his best, too. He was massive in the postseason, not just offensively when he had the walk-off in the wild card game against Alex Reyes a couple years ago in 2021, 3 home run game, first home run on the first pitch of the World Series in 2017, defensive plays against the Brewers, big plays, big catches and big moments. But still, I think that Edman is the truth is Edman's just a better player at his best than Chris Taylor is. He's a better base runner, better defender, and he falls into less slumps. The thing about Chris Taylor, and I love Chris Taylor, is that when he falls into a slump, man, he gets really ice cold for long stretches, and I think you can avoid that with Chris Taylor. But, yeah, I also want to say, how about a shout-out to Miguel Vargas? I know. How am I going to link this to Miguel Vargas? But the Dodgers, they picked up Tommy Edman in this 3-way deal with the White Sox and the Cardinals, and Brandon Gomes in this front office give them a lot of credit for kind of finding out that Edman was going to be moved, and they got the White Sox to kind of help them out to find a way to get this deal finalized. And the Dodgers ultimately traded Miguel Vargas, Alexander Albertus, and Jarrell Perez to minor league infielders to get not only Tommy Edman, but you also got Michael Kopech, and then Tommy Pham and Eric Fedde, they go to the Cardinals. So this was a huge, huge trade that landed you a player that you extended in Tommy Edman, that was a World Series MVP, and a Michael Kopech, who, for one more year of team control, that is as explosive and dominant as any reliever in baseball when he's at his best. So just an absolute masterclass of an in-season trade that didn't get a lot of publicity. I was high on Kopech for a long time, because I was trying to get them to trade for Luis Robert Jr. and Garrett Crochet, and I wanted Kopech to be a part of that deal. But the Tommy Edman, everyone's like, wait a minute, you trade for an injured player? Doesn't make any sense. You're trading for an injured player? What? We don't need that. And then you saw how great he performed in the postseason. But welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live on a black. You guys get any Black Friday specials? Anything? I did. I got some Coke Zeros. They were $1 cheaper than they usually are. So I picked up some more CZs. How's everyone's Thanksgiving? Got some bomb stuffing. Glenn, Kamita, $5. Love the show. Are Pages, Outman, or anyone else in the organization fill a need at outfielder shortstop? Well, Freeland is not available now at shortstop position, but as far as Outman, he's getting a little older for a prospect. Pages, I think, certainly deserves an opportunity at a corner outfield spot if he remains in the organization. He's a guy who I think certainly could be a 20-plus home run guy, and he's got a cannon for an arm. I think Pages has some potential, but I do think that they will move off some of these younger guys. James Outman's an interesting one because his first year, 23 home runs. He finished third in the Rookie of the Year voting. Second year, the offense just fell off a cliff. But he's someone that can play average to above average defense. He has some pop. I think Outman needs to be in an organization that's willing to let him see lefties and righties and just give him a large sample size of plate appearances, 300, 400 plate appearances to see what he can be, because I still think that Outman can help a lot of teams around Major League Baseball. It's just they don't get those long runways unless you're an elite prospect or there's injuries and it's a position of need with this Dodgers team. So he got another chance early this season, but it definitely wasn't, what's up, Jack 42, but it wasn't what he hoped it would be. But Black Friday deal was Edman from Tristan. Keep Pages, Martin Troop. Friedman is still cooking after Thanksgiving. Let's go, Dodgers. Martin Troop, I like that. He's certainly cooking in a big way. Let me give you a little comment of the show for that one.
You win. Perfect.
Trade Albin CT3 means Chris Taylor, strike 3-out player. Oh, come on now. Can we not with the CTK3 swing and miss Chris Kaler? You guys just keep bringing them, right? But super chat from Joe Sanchez, made of the bullpen, $2 super chat. We talked about that a couple times on this show. He certainly could profile as someone that could have a career as an elite reliever. Certainly. When you look at his stuff when he's right, you probably want to see a little more swing and miss, but you did see that a couple years back when the four-seam fastball was unleashed, especially up in the zone. I do think if you're Dustin May, still young, I would preferably try to get one more crack as a starter. But if they come to him and say, look, with your delivery, that three-quarters arm slot delivery, your grip it and rip it style, violent delivery, do you want to be someone that could make 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100 million as a reliever, or someone who's out of baseball after making less than $10 million as a failed starter that had multiple arm surgeries? I'd probably take the red pill, option one on that one. So I definitely think that certainly could be in his future, and I definitely I'm hoping to catch up with Dustin May at some point this offseason, ask him about that. I have an interview I'm dropping with the Dodgers' #1 pitching prospect, Jackson Ferris. I'll drop that tomorrow, and then also caught up with Landon Knack. I'll drop that on Sunday. So, yeah, these players are on vacations. They're starting to kind of get back from these vacations, and before we know it, I'm telling you, this is going to be the shortest offseason ever, man. We're already in December pretty much. So Claudia Edman was the best Black Friday deal. Christopher Romero, what's up with Bueller, bro? Joel Rodriguez, Dodgers were not as patient with Outman as they were with Lux. Outman had a stretch of bad luck earlier this year, made solid contact in the wrong places. Yeah, there's a big difference there because James Outman, they kind of had to reinvent his entire swing. They really reinvented his whole swing, and the biggest difference there is when they drafted James Outman in 2018, they picked him up in the 7th round. And there's a little bit of a sunk cost fallacy there, right? With James Outman, 7th round, kind of an overachiever. Gavin Lux is a whole different story. He's a former top prospect, and the Dodgers picked him up with a 20th pick in the first round in 2016. So it's a little different story there. So that's kind of what you see sometimes when it comes to trying to make things work with certain players. We have Nando D-Mac put down some East LA tortas and Eagle Rock balut last night. D-Mac put. You mean balut, the Filipino thing? That's hilarious, man. No comment. Elisheva Jones. Hi, Kenny. Merry Christmas. Taylor Red should be a closer. Imagine that. That'd be some. Imagine him running out of that bullpen. Dustin Mania as a closer. Big, all 6'6" with the show flow. That'd be absolutely electric. That'd be absolutely like. What would his song be? What would his? Because I mean, man, he had to get something really intense. But yeah, keep finding a way, guys. Any news on Ohtani's shoulder and Teo's and Kike? So Ohtani's shoulder. I mean, he had a successful surgery on his labrum. It definitely put his throwing program aside as he heals. So it definitely has delayed his pitching comeback, which originally was supposed to be at the beginning of the 2025 season. Now, Ohtani said after he won the MVP, told reporters that they are going to be careful about it, so they're not going to rush him back. And every indication is that he's not going to start the season in the Dodgers 6-man rotation. So maybe we'll see him at some point early May. That's the hope for me. With Teo, we're still waiting for Teo. I think he's fielding offers for sure. And Kike, I think he wants to be a Dodger, and we'll see how big of the market is for Kike. But let's not forget, Kike, he had offers last season. He waited until the Dodgers traded Manuel Margot to free up a spot for him. So I think he'll be patient. I ultimately think he'll be back too. Christopher Romero, D-Mac, give my wife Daisy a shout out. It's her B-Day. Happy birthday, Daisy. Thanks for rocking with us on the #1 Dodgers podcast and live show on YouTube. And it's all thanks to you guys. Hit that like button for your Los Angeles deferrals. Check that Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean the deferrals thing as a big compliment to this organization for getting players that want to be here so bad that they are willing to defer money to put on this Dodgers uniform and compete for World Series titles. Chakal, there's no way we're going into 2025 with Muncy as third base. I disagree. I think Max Muncy's defensive metrics have actually improved. Before the injury last year, it was the best he had actually played third. I remember asking Max Muncy about this, and he said, yeah, it feels like after a couple years where he was playing first at a high level, and then he was at second base the year after that, they really felt like he found a home at third base. Last year, he was in the 64th percentile in outs above average. He was a legitimate average defender. 0 outs above average last season. Doesn't have a great above average arm, but he can get it done. So if he just plays third like he did last season and stays healthy, can hit 20 to 30 home runs, he can still help this team, because Max Muncy is a valuable asset. I mean, last year for the Dodgers in 73 games with the Dodgers. Remember, he missed some time in 2024. Still had a 141 OPS plus, an 852 OPS. It was a 3-WAR player in 73 games. In 2023, in 135 games, he was a 2.6 WAR player. So he still provides a lot of value. Really, is a high-value contract. So I think that he's certainly in the fold. Also, big leader. Let's not forget, when it was Mookie and Muncy were the two guys that went to the front office and told them, hey, we need to do something different this season. We need to make sure that we're together as a group heading into the postseason. We need to spend more time with each other. We need to travel on the bus. We need to have the watch parties. Muncy was a part of that. And in 2025, he's getting paid $14.5 million, and then he has a $10 million club option for 2026. So if you look at teams and how much you're paying for WAR, I mean, if he gives you a 3-WAR and you're paying 14.5 with leadership and he can hit 20, 30 bombs, he provides value. So the key is just playing average defense. Not above average, but not below average. Right around average, you'll take him in that position. Mayan Trina would be a nasty 1-2 punch coming out of the bullpen. I love that, Martin Troop. I'm loving the idea of Dustin May out of the pen, man. A multi-inning, lights-out reliever. You know what's crazy? Time has flown by. May made his big league debut in 2019. He's going to be a free agent after the season. Insane. How about Vlad Guerrero at right field? Vlad Guerrero, man, I think the Blue Jays they still think that they can compete in that division. So I don't see them trading him this offseason for sure. But I love Vlad, man. He's one of my favorite players in the league. Dude's a bopper for sure. And he can play third base too. I mean, that'd be kind of where that's at. Can we please trade Lux and whoever else for Crochet and Luis Robert? Hey, about the Dodgers, the Los Angeles White Sox of Tampa Bay. That could be their team. CT3 can't touch third base. Sammy Boy Smith. You guys know that you're going to get a finisher for that. We've got good extension for time from Craig Osterberg, expecting at least one trade before spring training. Yeah, they're going to have to move some guys. I have a whole episode next week dedicated to trade packages. So it's definitely possible that you could see that. In fact, you most likely will see that. So an update on the contract. The Dodgers will pay out $25 million of Tommy Edman's $74 million in a 10-year span. So there you go. There's the deferred money from that. So that's the blue book. That's the playbook. That's that's how they get these guys to sign, and it really helps this team in a massive way to be able to get deals like that. The LA Dodgers, the LA deferrals are back at it again, making these teams around the league cry out there. So yeah, it is $17 million signing bonus. $25 million will be deferred and paid out over a 10-year span. So he's already under contract for this season. You add the years to it, and you feel pretty awesome about that. So that's pretty much what we thought was going to be for him as far as the $25 million. And it makes a ton of sense. I mean, you look at all these players that have long-term deals. Look at who's locked. I mean, this is a team that, look, before Shohei and Ohtani and Yamamoto, I mean, you weren't giving out 6-year deals. Now they're really committed to this group. Look who's under contract long-term. Mookie Betts till 2032. Shohei 2033. Will Smith 2033. Yamamoto 2035. Glasnow 2028. Freddie Freeman 2027. Snell 2029. And now Tommy Edman till 2030 if you include that club option right there. And I think with the way that he competes and keeps his body in shape, I mean, that's a contract I could certainly see being picked up in the long run. But, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Let's do a couple more comments here, and I'll let you enjoy that Black Friday little emergency edition. Tommy Edman extended. Love this for the Dodgers. You get NLCS MVP. You were a big part of me winning a big 162-game World Series, 162 regular season plus postseason World Series. And you get the first parade in L.A. Yeah, you're going to get rewarded. Guys are going to get rewarded, and this is certainly a reward, something that he's earned, too, for a big postseason. And, hey, that's how you make a first impression on a team. Soto Sasaki is the next starting pitcher, hopefully. Dave S. is dreaming big. Dreaming big. We have, people talking about Jock Peterson. Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I saw that in The Athletic, right? Someone wrote that. CCF Fresno, understand this. The Dodgers get that this is the cheapest these contracts are going to be, because 2 to 3 years from now, they're going to be even more so. It makes sense to lock up these players now. Certainly, that's how you do it. I mean, you try to save some money on the back end with the deferrals, and you're basically saying to yourself, these are the guys that we want. These are the guys that if they were on other teams, we would trade for and go get. That's what they do with Tommy Edman. They want to make sure that he's a Dodger beyond next season. Because what if Tommy Edman comes back with this lineup and has an all-star season like Chris Taylor had in 2021? You could be looking at a $100 million deal for someone like Tommy Edman. He's that good. I mean, he truly is. This is how you save. I mean, $74 million. Yes, the net present, less than that, which is great news for the Dodgers' sake. But if Tommy Edman put together a year like he had in 2019, for example, 850 OPS, 122 OPS plus, maybe hit around 18 to 20 home runs, played elite defense, he could get $100 million. Maybe a little less than that. But then there's a world where if he performed well in this lineup and played elite defense at multiple positions, he'd get paid even more. But in this iteration of the Dodgers, he provides a ton of value. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button on your way out. It really helps us, the channel, helps us with more giveaways. So we're going to start doing more giveaways pretty soon. Drop your comments. I'm going to start responding to your takes. We're going to start doing call-ins. The Discord's coming soon. Lots of big things happening here on the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. It's all thanks to you guys, the best fans in the game. You know I love each and every one of you, even Nando. But thank you so much, guys, for rocking this here on Dodgers Nation. Like I said, you can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Head over to gearup.la, get the WDGAF t-shirt, the new Freddie Gibby t-shirt. Go get the World Series champion t-shirt. Lots of fresh gear over at gearup.la, the official merch store of Dodgers Nation. And also subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and remember this, nothing, and I mean nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball.